Welcome to the County Connection show for November. I'm your host, Scott Vargo. I am joined by Karn, Dan, and Thomas, your county commissioners, my county commissioners. So we want to start off with one of our county commissioners and a recent experience that he was able to take on, and he's been away for a little while. This is actually the first day I've seen Dan back in a bit. So Dan, talk about the Marshall Fellowship.
Yeah. I just got back from Europe. I was selected as what's called the Marshall Memorial Fellowship, and it included about 6 months of preparation, understanding dynamics that are going on in Europe and how that impacts America. And the highlight was really my trip to Europe. And so I visited 5 countries within 24 days. And each location, there's a city coordinator, and I was with a group of 15 Americans. And at each location, it was broken into about 5 people per group. And we met with, in Brussels, for example, European Union leaders, learning about the immigration crisis in Syria and dynamics with the financial challenges of Greece and Italy. Learning about how they do transportation, how they do human services is very, practical, very fascinating. So went to Brussels, Belgium, and then went to Lübeck, Germany, which is kind of a 100,000 population, northern German area. Spent a whole day in a Syrian refugee camp, and that was powerful to say the least, to really hear firsthand the struggles of one particular family that hired human traffickers and literally sold all their belongings to try to get to a country where they weren't in fear of being killed by either ISIS or President Assad or the Russians, frankly. And that was very unique to say the least. But I was in Portugal as well, and learning about how they market their country, and then Bulgaria, a country that's only been a democracy for only 26 years. Yeah. And really learned that democracy can look very different depending on what country you're located in. And there's really widespread corruption in the country of Bulgaria, and the people seem to accept it, but then the folks that really want to challenge it and try to say, hey, enough corruption, there ends up to be a full-page paper ad against that person for raising the issues that a lot of people want to talk about. And so it's great to be back. And
congratulations on the scholarship.
No, thank you. Yeah, all expenses paid for trip, so it didn't cost the county one penny, but glad to be back and learned a lot, and we'll definitely be chatting with my colleagues here more about my experiences and how I can bring those to maybe apply here at the local level, especially transportation-wise.
So a little bit of background. Can you tell a little bit about the fellowship, where it came from, how it started, and how you got selected? Yeah,
it was really created after the Marshall Plan that helped rebuild Europe after World War II. And a former chancellor of Germany, a person by the name of Willy Brandt, was so thankful to the United States for being a leader with the Marshall Plan that he funded to create a nonprofit called the German Marshall Fund of the United States. And they have offices in Washington, D.C., in Brussels and Paris, all throughout the world. And kind of a wing of this organization is this fellowship called the Marshall Memorial Fellowship. And the idea behind it is that you get younger, future emerging leaders that are under 40 years old connected, for Americans to understand more Europe and European leaders to understand America. So while I was in Europe, I was one of 15 Americans, and then there were 18 Europeans that traveled around America to get a deeper understanding. So the bigger idea is that if more people are connected around the world, there might never be a World War III. Very idealistic, of course, but still, I think it was a tremendous organization, and I met a lot of people, highly motivated, kind of younger professionals that are doing great work.
Cool. Did your group meet the 18 European folks that came to America then?
Yeah, well, I met them for 2 days in Washington, D.C. So
very interesting. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's nice to have you back.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
All right, so from that, we'll go to one of the issues that we've been dealing with here locally in trying to bring different groups together and partner, and that is our ambulance service within Summit County. Thomas, do you want to talk a little bit about where we're at, what we're doing with ambulance?
Yeah, sure. So if people recall, it was last November that we had funding question in place to the voters asking for funding for ambulance services, 911 call center improvements. So, what we said that our vision was with regards to our ambulance system was to collaborate with the fire districts in terms of how we do emergency services. And so thank you again to all the voters for voting yes on 1A last year. That passed by 65%. So that was wonderful to have that support. We have since been doing a lot of work with Red, White, and Blue out of Breckenridge, Lake Dillon Fire that covers the other big part of the county, as well as Copper Mountain Metro District and their fire station up there, to put the training together and then the new service plans together in terms of how we interact, train with each other, provide ambulance services, emergency services throughout the county. And so a lot of progress is being made by Jamie as well as the fire departments, and we're on our way. We're making progress. This is complicated stuff. This is big change for everybody, and so thank you to the patience of all of the people involved, whether it's the boards of the fire districts or the staff of the fire departments, as well as our own ambulance staff. A lot going on, but progress is being made. Training is happening. It's all good stuff. More to come.
Yeah, and October 1st, the co-staffing started, and that's going really well, and that's with Copper Mountain and with Lake Dillon. But the co-training is existing with all three fire entities, which includes Red, White, and Blue as well. So it's really wonderful to see everyone working together to meet the goals of our community. Really, to not let's say look so at an insular approach, but really kind of county-wide, what's best for everyone, and it's nice to see everyone working well together.
It's remarkable, for me, serving on the State Emergency Medical Trauma Advisory Commission that oversees all the trauma centers and the ambulance systems in the state. When you talk about what we're doing and the kind of collaboration we're doing, people are quick to tell you, boy, that's complicated stuff, and that's amazing partnerships if you're going to pull that off, that's amazing partnership to have happening between different organizations. So it's good to go to those meetings and get reminders from people that are either ambulance alone or fire alone that are doing emergency services, because they're quick to tell you, wow, that's something. So.
Yeah, we've, I think from my perspective, we've made more progress more quickly than I had anticipated. So at this point, we now have intergovernmental agreements with all three of those fire agencies. We now have, again, Red, White, and Blue, who has been operating a medic unit, fully staffed medic unit of their own within the ambulance services license for over a year now. We now have cross-staffed ambulances where we're having Summit County ambulance staff along with a Lake Dillon firefighter, and Summit County ambulance staff along with a Copper Metro District firefighter as well operating. And so we're making significant progress in trying to increase the capacity of the system, so more ambulances available within the county to respond to those emergencies, as well as reducing overall expenses by taking advantage of those resources that are within the system already and have been in the system already. So kudos to you guys for supporting that and helping to push that project along as well.
We had a good first test on co-staffing, because that's when the Brush Creek fire in the Lower Blue broke out.
Yeah, day one was the day of the fire, so the medic unit that ended up on scene was a Lake Dillon Fire, Summit County ambulance cross-staffed, ambulance unit, so or
Right.
medic unit. So surprisingly enough.
Scott, kudos to you too, though, for being the lead staffer for the county. It's been a lot of work, and
It has
it's
been.
still work in progress. I know. So,
But again, we're making good progress. So I'm happy to see the efforts that everybody's making and the cooperation amongst everyone. I've gotten at least 2 or 3 emails from ambulance or from fire districts with comments that they've received from people that they've assisted or from their staff that were assisting folks, and how well the cross-staffed units have worked in a couple, 3 occasions just since the beginning of October. And so again, the system is working, and it's great for everybody that has to take advantage of it. So. All right, I promise, Karin, you'll get to talk more in the next segment. So we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
the Kern Show next.